Let me tell you why you might be interpreting this verse incorrectly. Jeremiah 17, 9 through 10 says that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. But what does this mean? For those of us who struggle with people-pleasing, perfectionism, and have a natural tendency to minimize our own wants and desires, this can be a tricky verse to implement. We have a natural tendency to dismiss our own brain, bodies, and emotions that is not from God. Instead, it often comes from a spirit of fear, insecurity, or even the impact that someone else's sin had on our life. So, when we read a verse like this through that lens, it often only reaffirms some of these unhealthy ways of thinking. So think about it. Are you someone who is impulsive and often pursues the ideas that you have and the desires that have built up within you? Or are you someone who is more cautious and takes a long time to think through the pros and the cons of each decision before you make it, and often requires a lot of external reassurance from someone else to assure you that this is a good idea? If you are the latter, then it's possible that you struggle with self-betrayal, which is a deep distrust of your own intuition, discernment, desires, and emotions. If that's the case, then you might be someone who looks at this verse and interprets it to mean that you're on the right track by distrusting your own desires. But there's another verse that says that when we trust in the Lord, He will give us the desires of our heart. So desires in and of themselves are not bad. It's true that all of our hearts have been skewed by living in a sinful world. We don't have full perspective to see reality for what it really is, which is why we need to trust God and rely on His wisdom. But that doesn't mean that the deep desires of your heart aren't from God Himself and that you can't trust them. For people like us who naturally distrust the desires of our hearts, sometimes the deceit is in the distrust. Our brains are trying to protect us because we're scared of hurting someone or being hurt ourselves, of getting it wrong, or even missing a vital piece of information. And so we're fearful, but that fear often paralyzes us from moving forward and doing what God has called us to do. Your Creator created you with an innate sense of what's true, what's beautiful, what's wise, and what's right, to equip you to live out your life vibrantly, fully, to love God, love others, and love yourself in partnership with the Holy Spirit. When you don't trust yourself, you often also don't trust your own ability to seek God and hear His voice in your life, which opens you up to a range of other external voices, which may or may not be from Him and may or may not know what's best for you and others around you. But to my perfectionists out there, there's freedom and grace in the fact that you don't have to get it right. Just practice tuning in to your own intuition, your own discernment, your own deep desires, and then talk to Jesus about them. He will guide you. He will guide you to scriptures that confirm those desires, or church members that speak into those desires. You don't have to do this alone. But when you don't trust yourself, you're missing a vital piece of the puzzle of the way God created you to hear Him, to interact with Him, to live out His word, to serve others, and to truly thrive.